Hello everyone, welcome to today's yoga class, and we're continuing with our theme of expanding our awareness, awakening our heart. So practices today that are going to make us feel really nice and open and expansive, not only in the front body but also in the sides and the back as well. For today's practice, if you can grab a belt or something that will work as a belt or a strap, then grab that and anything else that you need and bring yourself back to the mat. We'll actually start off just from seated first of all. So find a nice comfortable seat that works for you. And then let the eyes close, just resting the hands on the knees and the legs. And let the eyes close, or just keeping a very soft gaze. And just take a moment to tune in with the physical body. Just be aware of how you're feeling. Just start to take some weight into the connections with your sit bones, so what's touching the earth right now. And if you can, just try to feel that the spine is gently lengthened, just to create a nice space from here. Letting your shoulders just relax, so space between your shoulders and your ears. And start to just focus on the breath, allowing the breath to slow down. And just knowing that you've got this whole practice now, this whole 45 minutes to practice, to really get in tune with the body and invite more calmness and peace into every part of the body. And if it feels okay, you're going to take one hand onto the belly and one hand into the chest, the heart centre, and let your shoulders become really relaxed from here. Just feeling the warmth and that heat that's created from your hands without changing it. Notice any movement or sensations of your breath from here. Maybe you're just aware as well of your beating heart. And take a nice slow inhale through the nose, allowing the belly to start to rise. And a slow breath out, just feeling the belly just softening. And continuing to let that breath just inhale, let the belly just start to rise. And the exhale, just feeling that softness, that wave of release. And then inhale, breathing into the belly, allow that to move into the top hands. And breathing out, allowing yourself just to soften and release. And do one more, breathing in, allow the belly to gently rise. And breathing out, that lovely release as we soften. Just a couple more in your own time, in your own breath. And by taking our hands here, we connect deeply to the breath and we draw that attention inwards. And we really start to feel how the breath maybe just expands into the belly and the front body, and how we can soften and release. And then slowly let your eyes blink open, and we'll just cross the hands. So you're going to cross your thumbs and taking your hands onto your chest, the heart centre, and let your fingertips, middle ones, just come roughly where your collarbones are. So pointing up rather than pointing to the side, and just a little bit of a tucking down with the chin so we can bring some attention down into the chest, and just continue to breathe nice full slow breaths into the abdomen, and continuing to find this breath. Just start to tap each hand, alternate on each side, so a nice rhythm as we just focus on the breath from here. Tapping movements, so we're starting to awaken into the heart centre. And it's very soothing, it's soothing for your nervous system. It calms, it brings a feeling of just peace and tenderness. So continuing just doing that tapping from one side to the other, a bit like a butterfly movement, flapping its wings. And then just keep doing that focus on the breath in the abdomen. We're going to stay here just for another 4 or 5 breaths. And then slowly release the hands from here. Let the hands come out to the sides of the body. Take a nice full breath in. Bring the palms up. Look up if it's okay. Breathing out, guide the hands to the chest. And do one more full breath in to lift up. And a grounding breath down. Last one. Inhale to lift up. And a slow breath to release down. And allow ourselves to find a nice twist from here. So do adjust your feet and your legs if you're not in a comfortable place. We'll take left hand onto the right knee and sweep the right hand behind. Breathing in to lift up. And as we breathe out, easing into a really nice twist from here. And trying to keep the spine lengthened, trying to sit up nice and tall. And just stay connected to the sit bones. And breathing in, feel the heart and the chest just gently lifting. And exhale, stay connected to your sit bones. And inhale as you breathe out, releasing, coming back, swapping sides. So it's going to be your right hand on the left knee and your left hand behind. Breathe in to lift up. And as we breathe out, easing into that twist to the left side. Either closing the eyes or keeping a soft gaze. And as we breathe in, we can think about lifting the heart centre and the collarbones from here. And as we breathe out, think about staying connected with your sit bones down and towards the earth. Inhaling, thinking about your heart and your collarbones lifting. And as you exhale, thinking about your sit bones connected down towards the earth. And then slowly releasing from here. You can take another cross of the legs if that feels a nice option, the other one in front. Right hand's going to come down to the side and your left one's going to lift. We'll breathe in and we'll take that breath out as we bend into that bottom arm, take that arm up and over, gently pressing back into that left sit bone from here. And just breathing, getting a nice stretch into that left side of the body, allowing it just to start to open up. And then coming back, raising the arms, have a good stretch up in between. And then taking your left hand down, reach your right one up. Then bending that bottom arm, taking that arm up and over. You can either look down, look forward, or even looking up if that suits the neck today. Just focus on really nice, slow, calm breaths to gently open up more into the body from here. And then lifting up, coming all the way up, bring the palms together. Take an inhale as we breathe out slowly, release the hands back down. You can have a stretch out of the legs from here, so just give them a little bit of a release. And then bend the legs, let yourself make your way into an all fours position. Just move anything you don't need out of the way and spread the hands. Knees underneath the hips, and we'll work the spine with some cat stretches. So inhale, lifting your tailbone, lift the front of the body, lifting the head, gazing up. And breathing out, rounding over, drawing to the navel, just gazing back or keep the eyes closed. Inhale to come up from here. And exhale to round over. We'll do one more inhale to lift up. And exhale to round over. Back to the all fours. We're just going to draw some circles with the hips. And just see where that movement takes us. We might do it really slow. Or we might start to take weight forward and then more weight back as we move into the arms and the hips. So just continue just to go one direction first and make it your movement so it feels like you create as much space in the body. And then start to go the other direction. So just reversing that movement, a lovely release for the hips. Starting to bring a little bit of strength into your hands from here. And last one, to bring yourself back to the all fours. So warmed up the hands, let the hands spread, tuck the toes and lift up into your downward dog and adjust the feet if you need to. You can take a few walks out with your heels from here, just pedaling out the feet so that the muscles can start to stretch out in the backs of the legs from here. Taking some weight back, head nice and heavy. And just breathe, be aware of the heart centre that's gently expanding and just feeling that facing down towards the earth. And then we'll take a plank pose. You can bring some weight forward of your shoulders or dropping down to the knees. You can draw the navel in from here. Dropping the knees down, release the feet. Press yourself back to child's posture. You might like to make the arms active today just to awaken the heart centre and the arms a bit more. So shoulder width apart or a little bit further and just walking the arms. And maybe we lift the arms up and away from the earth while plugging the hands gently in towards the earth. Just a few breaths, just feeling a really nice stretch across the body. And then lifting up the head from here. And you can move the hands forward and slowly start to release the feet, sinking your hips down and letting yourself slowly lower all the way back down. You can keep the hands underneath your shoulders or you can take the hands into Sphinx. Just coming up a little way first, so as we inhale, lifting up just a small way. And as we breathe out, slowly releasing down. As we breathe in, we might come into baby cobra with the elbows pointing back. As we breathe out, lowering down. As we inhale, either coming into one of those options or starting to lift up. Then you can come up into a full cobra if it did work. We'll breathe in as we breathe out, just taking a gaze over towards that right shoulder. Inhaling, coming back. And as we breathe out, a gaze over towards that left side. And inhaling, coming back from here. It works, you can press back to the all fours. And then pressing back into your child's posture. And if you need to adjust your hands, you can. And then allowing the wrist to release by taking the arms down by the sides of the body. So the palms are lifted up and let the head release down towards the earth. And take a moment just to soften, feel weight going down into the forehead, our connection with the earth. And then letting your hands creep back from here, so we'll come back to the all fours. Back to tabletop position. We're going to tuck the toes under, lifting up, back to downward dog. Just nice heavy head, soften the knees slightly. So we can just expand into the back of the heart. And then let the legs bend. Take a walk with your feet towards the hands. Let the hands come to the hips and we'll lift and come all the way up to standing. Then from here, you're going to sweep the hands behind you, interlock the hands or use your belt, or you can just hold onto the arms if that was better, or the wrists. And if it's an option, just lifting gently your shoulders back so we allow ourselves to open up into the heart centre and just enjoy some really nice breaths from here. And we'll start to take this forward into Uttanasana. So you're going to soften the knees, hinging forward, starting to come forward. Hands can either stay on the lower back or they can sweep up and over. It might feel nice just to take a little bit of a movement from side to side, just to release a bit more into your shoulders. And then hands to the lower back, release them. Take them out in front, catch hold of opposite elbows. Bring some weight down, head nice and heavy. Hands can come to the shins, and as we inhale, we'll lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Take a few breaths from here. And then soften and release. Take a couple of breaths, just folding over the legs. You can take the hands to the hips, or we'll sweep the arms out if it's okay for the back by softening the knees. Drawing in with the navel, draw a big circle with the arms as we sweep all the way up. We can gaze up, we can take a bit of a back bend, and then breathing out, letting your hands come back towards your heart center. Hands on the hips. We'll bend the legs for a chair posture. So a few inches apart with the feet, or you can bring them together. And we'll bend the legs from here. You want to be drawing in with the navel, lengthening your tailbone. Feel some length in your spine. And if it's all right, sending the arms forward. And we might even be taking them up by the sides of the ears. And you want to really stay connected to the earth. You can sink a little bit lower. Breathe in as we breathe out. You're going to bend the legs, sweep the arms behind you. Then use your inhale to come through. That's it. And then we'll breathe out. Bend the legs deeply, sweep the arms back. And then inhaling, coming through. Do that one more time. So breathing out, bend the legs deeply, sweep the arms back. And last one now to come through for that final chair posture. You can stay there for a few more moments, just breathing. And invite the arms this time just to come out a little bit more into a V shape, so we're able to soften the shoulders, we're able to open the heart a little bit more. Press into the feet, lengthen the legs, sweep the arms up, inhale. As you breathe out, nice and slowly release the hands, hands to the hips. You're going to come forward again into that forward fold. Let the hands come to the shins. Take a nice full breath to lift up halfway. And then as you breathe out, soften and fold. Let your head release down and just gently move the head from side to side. And then allowing yourself to take the hands to the hips, and we'll lift and we'll come all the way up to standing. So we're going to take a warrior position, and we're going to do a nice sequence with the warrior one by taking the arms into Gurmukhasana, cow face arms. And this is when the belt's going to be quite handy. So it's the one that, take one arm back, and if you find that the fingertips don't reach, you're going to grab your belt. If you've got a long belt like this one, you can always double it over, and you can use that. And we'll do it together. So we'll come back from here. Well, let's see how I'm going to do it. Yeah, we'll come to this top of the mat. And just for a moment, if you're going to use your belt, just take it just in front of you, so it's going to be an easy reach. And we're going to step back with the right foot. We're going to just take a warrior first of all. So bending into that left leg, adjust that back foot if you need to. And then we're going to sweep the arms up from here. And you can sink a little bit lower. You can bring the palms together, and you might take a really nice gaze up towards your hands. Try to stay connected to the earth as you invite the breath to move into the chest and the rib cage from here. So breathing in, and then as you breathe out slowly, you can start to lengthen the leg as you bring your hands to the chest. And then we'll reach down to grab hold of your belt, if you're using your belt. If you're not, we're going to just stretch up it's all going to be the right arm, left arm. So reaching up. Going to drop that arm back. We're going to take the right arm up and over, catch hold of that top elbow, just to invite that elbow to move up towards the sky. You can hold it here or release your right hand. Take it as high as you can up onto the back, or reaching and taking hold of the belt. So we'll breathe in, and as we breathe out, we're going to bend into that front leg and lifting up into this really nice Gurmukhasana position with the arms. You might take a little bit of a gaze up, turn it into a bit of a back arch, or you might stay where you are. And then lifting the head, start to lengthen that leg. And then we're going to take both feet so they face the long side of the mat, and adjust your feet so that they are in line with each other. Feet facing forward. And if you need to release your hands, that's fine. Or if you can keep into this position, we'll keep them there. You're going to start to softly fold forward, and the idea of having our hands here is that it's helping to keep us nice and open into your heart center. Now, so you can lower the head, take a few breaths, And then you're going to release your belt or your hands, and we'll take the right hand down towards the earth and your opposite hand onto the hip as we twist towards that. It'll be your right side from here. And then if it feels, sorry, left side, if it's good, you're going to extend up with your top arm. You can either look down or you can gaze up towards that hand. A few nice breaths from here. And then slowly allowing ourselves to release both hands down to the floor and just lowering the head back down. So crown of the head's nice and heavy. And then taking the hands to the hips, and we'll slowly lift and come all the way up to standing. And then we'll do that on the other side. So when we do it on the other side, we'll then take that twist to the other side. So you can take the belt again ready. So you're going to step back this time with your left leg from here. And just keep the belt to the floor if you're using your belt. You're going to soften into that knee, navel draws in. And then you're going to take the arms, so you're going to lift up from here. So sweeping the arms up, bending into that front leg. You can either stay where you are, you can sweep the hands together, you can gaze up, or just keep the gaze where feels appropriate for your neck. Just invite that breath to move into your chest and the heart centre. If you're feeling a bit unsteady, just draw the navel in. Root down more with the feet. And then slowly let your hands come back down. You can slowly just release off that leg. And then we'll do the Gomukhasana onto that opposite side. So this time I'm going to take the belt. It's going to be into the right arm as you extend up. You're going to take that hand back, and your left hand's going to come up and over, taking hold of your opposite elbow. And you can bend into that leg back to warrior one from here. And you can take your back hand, so your left hand can reach up as high as it can, catching hold of your belt or your fingers. And you might just keep the gaze forward, or you might, if it works for the neck and the back, looking up from here. Just feel really nice and expansive in your front body. And then bringing your head back, you can start to lengthen that front leg. And then we're going to turn again, so you're facing towards me again, long side of the mat. And you're going to adjust your feet, so you've got both feet in line with each other, either toes pointing forward or turn the big toes in slightly. And we'll take a nice full breath from here. And as we breathe out, we're starting to go forward. And remember, you can release if you need to. Just take a few moments, try to think about how we're keeping that really nice expansion in the front of the body, which often sometimes gets a bit forgotten about when we just generally come forward. Crown of the head can be nice and heavy. And then we'll release your belt down from here. And you're going to take your right hand down to the centre of the mat. I'm just going to go the same way as I'm mirroring with you. And your opposite hand onto the hip as we twist towards that left side. If it's an option, you can either sweep the arm up, or you can keep the hands onto the hip. And just keep breathing from here. Keep reaching up into your fingertips. And then slowly releasing your hands down. You can just move your belt out of the way for the moment. And you can either use a block, or you can take the hands down and then start to slowly lower your head and just take a movement, just gently moving it from side to side. And then press up onto your hands. Hands return to the hips. Strong legs to support us as we lift all the way up to standing from here. Right. And then just let yourself just heel toe slightly your feet in a bit closer. So we don't need the belt. You can just take your belt for now over to the side so it's out of the way. And then we'll stay at that long side of the mat. We're going to open out our feet into triangle pose. So just finding, you can widen them if that feels more appropriate. Right foot is going to turn out, left foot is going to come in slightly. Then we're going to raise the arms from here, shoulders nice and relaxed. We're going to take the left hand and we're going to take either back of the hands onto the back, or if you can creep those fingers round the sideways, we're going to take a bit of a bind variation from here. And then we're starting to just gaze over that middle finger of that right hand. Breathing in as we breathe out, you're going to start to slowly come to that side. So as if you're trying to reach that, and continue to breathe. Soften slightly into that right leg. And then when you feel that both sides of the body are nice and lengthened, bottom hand's going to come down. And then we're going to revolve that top shoulder so it starts to lift up and revolving back. And you can either look up or look forward or even drop your head down and just feel a really nice release and opening into that top shoulder. Great if you have a lot of tightness from here. And then you can lift up the arm and you can gaze up if it feels good again, or just keep the head down. And then nice and slowly take your hands back to the hips, and we're going to start to move over towards that front leg, and you know, adjust it a bit so you can bring yourself so your hips are facing forward, and we'll lift up from here. That's it. And we're going to take a variation of a clasped hands behind us, so clasping the fingers and then gently rolling back your shoulders. You can use your belt if that's more appropriate, or holding on to the folding the arms is an option. Inhale as you breathe out, we're going to slowly start to come forward over that leg. And just try to think about, we're not twisting, the hips are just trying to stay quite even. And then when you can't go anymore, you can lower your head. It's a bit of a balance as well, so you want to draw in with the navel so you feel quite steady. Releasing the hands, let them either come to the leg or either side of the foot, and then folding again over that leg. Feel your front hip just gently moving back and your back hip just gently encouraging forward. So nice action for the hips. Lifting the head, hands on the hips, and we'll lift and come all the way up. Feet to the front from here. We'll take a fold forward, so you can keep a bit of a shorter distance. We're fine how we are. And on the hips, going to fold forward. Going to catch hold of opposite elbows and take a gentle sway from side to side. Just easing out into the side body. Hands can come back to the hips and we'll lift and come all the way to standing. And we'll take the triangle again now onto the left side. So left foot turning out, right foot in slightly. Raising the arms, it's going to be the right hand this time. Back of the hand's going to come to the lower back, or reaching the fingers to the side. And we'll gaze towards that left side from here. Inhale, and as you breathe out, we're going to reach towards that left side and continue to take a few extra breaths, softening into that nose. Think about not only this side that's lengthening, top side, but also that bottom side that's starting to lengthen. And then coming down, it doesn't matter how low we are, revolving that top shoulder, starting to lift it up, moving it back. Nice opening into your chest area. And you can either look down, look forward, or look up. And then you've got the option of keeping that lovely lift as we raise the arm from here. And draw into the navel a little bit more, root down with the feet. And then let your hands come to the hips and we'll lift up. And then once we're up, we'll start to turn towards that opposite side, over that front leg. So lift up your back foot maybe and turn it in or turn it out more to the side so the hips are starting to just point in that direction. We'll clasp the hands again and see if you can do the unfamiliar clasp. So moving the fingers along one and gently rolling back your shoulders. We'll take an inhale as we breathe out. We're going to slowly come forward and take some extra breaths from here. Soften the knees. Just go as appropriate is for the back. Maybe folding over that leg. Maybe allowing the crown of the head to be nice and heavy. And then let the hands come to the lower back and either take the hands on the legs or hands to the floor, and allowing the head to be nice and heavy from here. And then we'll lift the head, we'll take the hands on the hips, and we'll lift and come all the way to standing. Allowing ourselves to bring the feet back to the front again. And then releasing the hands, heel, toe, or step your feet back together and come all the way back to the front. In the centre of your mat, a few inches apart with your feet. Hands to the heart centre. We'll interlock the fingers. Have your index finger pressing and your thumbs crossing. And as we inhale, centre the fingertips up, drawing the arms out as if you was drawing an imaginary line from here. Take a few breaths, root down with the feet, draw into the navel. Breathe in. As we breathe out, we'll take a side bend, stretch to the right side, and then inhaling, coming back. And as we breathe out, we'll go over towards that left side, and then inhaling, coming back. And we'll go one more either side. So breathing out to the right, and inhale, coming back, and then breathing out to the left, and then inhaling, coming back. And slowly let your hands come back, palms together, hands meeting back towards the chest. Let your hands come to the hips, and we'll move it into our Vipassana tree pose. We've done lots of hip work, so hopefully it should feel nice. And just find a position that's going to help in the balance. Hands can come to the wall or back can come to the wall. We'll start to lift up the right foot first of all and turning that right knee out to the side. And you can lift it up any higher up the leg or even onto the inside of the thigh if that was an option today. And the arms are your balance first of all, so let them feel that they're helping with the balance as you look forward. And then raising the arms if you're drawing a big circle around you. And we might be able to bring the palms together and gently stretching up from here. You want to ease that knee gently back and navel draws in and feel a nice expansion right across your front body. Inhale, and as you breathe out, hands move back towards the chest. Hands meet the hips. We'll lift up that knee again back. And taking that foot all the way back down to the floor. Shake the legs out if you need to. And then all the way onto your right foot. And we'll do the same with the left one. So taking that foot into your tree, into your Vipassana tree pose. And the arms are there as your balance first of all. So allowing them to start to lift and maybe drawing the arms up. And keep them into a V shape for a moment. If it works, bringing your palms together, so fingertips gently reaching up. We're easing that knee gently back. We're drawing in with the navel, and we're feeling really open in the front body, feeling expansive. Using these movements and the breath to awaken the heart centre. Inhale, and as you breathe out, hands move back to the chest. Hands move back to the hips, and we'll lift that knee and we'll take that foot all the way back down to the floor. You're going to just separate the feet, hinging at the hips, coming forward, catching hold of opposite elbows from here and just taking a gentle sway from side to side, just easing out into the side to the body, allowing our shoulders to relax. Letting the crown of the head be nice and heavy, feeling the calm and peacefulness that resides within our heart centre. And lifting the head, so let your hands move back to the hips and we'll lift all the way up from here. We'll just take the feet a bit wider for a horse stance position, so turning the feet out. Bending the legs from here, adjusting your feet so the knees are coming directly over the ankles. Drawing in with the navel, lengthening your tailbone. One hand to the belly, one hand to the chest. And just take some really nice slow breaths from here, feeling grounded with the feet. Letting the breath, the inhale, rise from the bottom hand all the way to the top hand. And feeling that wave of relaxation that softens all the way back down to the torso, to the bottom hand. Just a couple more breaths from here. And then allowing your eyes to blink open, release the legs. You're going to sweep the arms up, draw a big circle, bring the palms together. And as you breathe out, guiding your hands towards your chest. So inhale, sweeping up again, you can look up. Breathing out, bending the legs, drawing the hands back to the chest. Do one more, inhale, lifting up, you can gaze up. Breathing out, hands down towards the chest. And from here, we'll take it into cat-cow-psalms. A few really nice breaths from here. Bringing the palms back together and then interlocking the fingers, pressing your palms away, lifting up. Take a few nice breaths. And we'll just take a twist from here. So breathe in as you breathe out. Draw the navel in, twisting gently to the right side. And then inhaling, coming back as we breathe out. Gentle twist towards your left side. And then inhaling, coming back. Going to release the hands, sweep the arms out. As we do, we'll lengthen the legs. And we'll bend the arms, bringing the palms together and moving them all the way back towards your heart centre. Turn your feet to the front, heel toe your feet back. And just take a step to the front of the mat. Just pause for a moment, just separate the feet, shoulders nice and relaxed. And just take some moments to breathe. Be aware of your heart centre. Connect to it. Feel that you've awoken a bit more. You've brought more energy into that heart centre from here. Going to let your hands move to the hips. We'll soften the nose. And we'll slowly start to hinge forward from here. That final halfway lift, so hands can come to the shins. And we'll inhale, lifting up halfway. And exhale, soften and fold, releasing the hands, bending the legs. Starting to take a step back onto your hands and your knees. And then lifting up onto the hips, we're going to come to a gate pose from here. So we'll turn onto the knees and pad your knees if you need to. We'll step the right foot out from here, either the toes can point forward, or if it's too strong on the hips or the leg, you can turn the foot out. You can even take a little bit of a bend just to accommodate more space into the hips if the other one feels too tight. And then we'll raise the arms, lifting up. You can gaze up for a moment. And then we're going to start to slowly take your right hand, back of the hand, to the inside of that front leg. And then we'll breathe in as we breathe out. The navel draws in as we start to side bend over to that side. You can either keep the gaze down or you can look up and feel nice and expansive. And then lifting up, coming all the way back up. You can take right hand onto the hip and your left hand can take down to the floor. You can use a block, or if you're feeling it in the wrist, you can always take a fist movement. You're going to send your hips forward, revolve that top shoulder back. And if it's an option, we're lifting up the arm from here, taking a few good breaths. And we can take it into a side bend stretch by inviting that arm to move up and over, palm facing towards the floor. And we keep drawing into that navel. And then releasing, let the hands come back to the hips, draw into the navel to bring some support to the back, to come all the way out. And then let yourself come back to that kneeling position. And the left leg is going to open out this time. And adjust the leg again. If you want to take the foot in that position, then just find what's going to work for the body. Raising the arms, lifting up. We can take a gaze up if that works. And then taking that bottom hand down, we'll take a full breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to come into that side bend stretch. You can either keep the top arm straight or you can bend it if you need to. Keep breathing from here. And then inhaling, coming back up. Left hand onto the hip and we'll take that right arm out to the opposite side. Use your block or take a fist action if that's better. And we're sending the hips and the pelvis forward. You can either just gaze down, stay here, or we can start to lift that top arm. That final bit of that stretch, the palm can face forward and we can take that arm up and over and fully inviting space into that side body. And just breathe from here. Be aware of areas that might feel a bit tighter or the places that you're actually stretching into. Let that top hand come to the hip, draw into the navel. Let the other hand move to the hip. Mind the head as we come all the way back up. Letting yourself come back to the knees. And then we'll sit back to the bottoms. We'll take the legs out. We'll take the arms out and we'll roll ourselves down to the floor, drawing them in an oval. Allowing ourselves to bring the knees in towards the chest. You can take the hands onto the knees. Let yourself just draw a few circles to massage into the spine now from that gate position. And then circling in that other direction from here. And then allowing the legs to release, legs extending. And then we're going to take the right knee in towards the chest, hugging that knee in from here. A few nice breaths, just releasing off that hip. You can take that foot onto that leg and your left hand onto the hip and the right arm out to the side or cactus the arms, and let your knee just gently ease across towards your left side of the body and let your head slowly turn. And you can support, if you've got anything, cushions or anything that might want to support the leg, you can do that. Just a really nice release for the back. And just stay there a few more breaths. And then coming back with the heads, coming back with the knees. You can lengthen out both legs again. Adjust the spine. And then move your left knee in towards the chest, holding around your shin. Just spend a few moments letting that hip get a nice release. And then taking that foot onto the leg, left arm out to the sides this time. And just starting to let that knee move across the body. It might just come a little way, or you might find that you roll a little bit more onto that opposite hip. You either keep the head where it is or turn the head to the opposite side. Just a nice breath, nice for the back, but it's also a really good release for your hips. And then easing yourself back, bring the legs back, final hugging with both knees towards you, gentle rock from side to side. And then taking your feet to the floor. You can either lengthen out the legs for the last bit, or you might decide to keep them bent. And if you're feeling particularly a bit tight in the back right now, you can always take the feet a bit wider. You can always draw your knees in towards each other. Make sure that your chin is tucked in slightly. Either let the hands rest on the body or invite the arms to move out to the side, space between the armpit and the arms, and letting the eyes just close or a soft gaze. And just be still, really let the breath relax now. And all that wonderful energy that you've created in your practice today, through the heart openers, through all that lovely shoulder work, through the forward folds, through all that side bending, stretching movements. We're just letting it just settle from here. And just invite that attention to move inwards with the breath. So you feel very peaceful, very centered right now. And you've still got that full awareness. It's a bit different to just completely switching off and resting. We create still that full awareness while we're in our Shavasana. Just a couple more breaths from here. And then if you need to stay longer, if you've got more time to do, then just spend as long as you need to. When you're ready, let your fingers wriggle. Start to move the arms. Let the arms take a nice stretch. You can lengthen the legs, or you can keep your legs still bent on the floor. And just take a moment, breathing into the fingertips, taking that stretch. And then bend the knees. Let your arms hug them in. Maybe one hand's come across each leg, drawing the knees in, maybe having a gentle rock from side to side. Let yourself roll over onto the right side of the body and just give yourself time just to come to that side, maybe supporting your head with your hands. Feeling your calm breath that you've created in your practice today. And then let yourself move all the way up, taking your time to come up and just find a seated position. And once you're there, let yourself just bring your hands towards your heart centre and closing the eyes or a soft gaze and just a very bit of a tucking of the chin until we feel really connected to your heart centre right now. And just pause here and breathe. So we use our yoga practice and our breathing and our mindfulness to really stay connected to our heart centre. I'll read you out a really nice quote, and it's called, "Don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Don't dim your light to accommodate someone else's energy. We are all born to shine big and bright. The universe is expanding and you are part of that universe. So expanding is part of your nature. Flowers don't open and close accordingly to who is walking by. They open and show their beauty regardless." And then let your head bow down even more from here. Real connection to your heart centre. Let the eyes slowly blink open. As we inhale, lifting your head, lifting your heart. Namaste. I hope that you enjoyed that class and enjoy the rest of your day.